Common enough scene, right? Unfortunately, it is. There's a problem here. You just may not have seen it. The problem here is cross-contamination. Virtually everything a carrier touches, everything that touches what a carrier touches, has the potential for cross-contamination. About the only way to avoid the problem is to not touch anything. And that's the very simple theory behind Scotsman's new exclusive line of TouchFree automatic ice and water dispensers.
This machine I like. I could get used to this.
The thing I really like about this machine is that you don't have a lever, which means you have no physical contact. As anybody who works in a lab or a hospital environment knows, physical contact is the main reason that germs are passed. This eliminates that totally.
This machine is very sanitary. It's very simple to use, and when sometimes on the nursing units we're in a hurry to get ice, and I imagine we could get ice very quick with this machine.
It's wonderful.
The fascinating thing about this is you don't have to call your mother-in-law or pull up a dictionary to find out how to operate it.
It's great that you can use this with one hand, not only for if you're carrying something, but even for patients or anyone in our cafeteria. If you have a disability or arthritis or something, you can't push any buttons or pull levers, you know, anybody can use it with one hand, or even if you're carrying something else.
I'm the facilitator of the microbiology laboratory here at the hospital. It does facilitate the containment of bacteria, the spread of germs from one place to another, and it serves it well.
Scotsman's latest industry-leading innovation also addresses one other very important issue: the Americans with Disabilities Act. Because the ADA requires one-handed operation, dispenser users, especially those in healthcare and food service, have previously faced a bit of a dilemma. Lever dispensers offer one-handed operation, but they may not be sanitary. Push-button dispensers are a bit more sanitary, but may not comply with the spirit of the ADA's mandate of one-handed operation. And many people, from healthcare professionals to mothers of young children, will tell you that one-handed operation is a feature that's appreciated by everyone.
I fill about 14 pitchers, and I use the ice machine as a conveyor belt. I start over here with the ice, and I fill the pitcher, and I run it over, and I'm starting another one. And I just close it up, put it on the table, and keep on going, and it goes real fast. It goes very fast.
Well, actually, just take your cup and reach in and get your ice and keep moving.
Anybody could figure it out. No training involved at all.
I'm a nurse in the emergency room. I like the machine. It seems to be a nice machine compared to the ones that we've used in the past.
TouchFree automatic dispensers are getting such good reviews because of Scotsman's well-thought-out, well-researched design that uses infrared sensors to determine when to dispense ice or water. So, it's easy to use. There are no buttons to push. There are no external moving parts to break or wear out, and no physical contact that could lead to contamination of the machine's surfaces. However, for an added measure of precaution, every dispenser in the TouchFree series has a dispensing chute that is easily removed for sterilization.
Working in a lab, it's real important to me that the ice machine is sanitary and hygienic. We use different cups and bags, and everything we touch, you know, we don't want to touch anything else with it.
From the laboratory's aspect, everything you touch has germs on it. This way you're not touching anything. There's no germs on anything when you use the ice machine.
Sensors work very well. You just put the cup under there and it dispenses the water perfectly, and you take it away and it stops.
Thought the sensors worked real well.
I think this machine is a great help in a hospital because, like I said, once you cut down that contact ratio, you're going to cut down the majority of germs that are going to be passed. That in itself alone makes it worthwhile.
We have a lot of patients on our floor who are recovering from CVA, stroke, and if they only have one hand or if they're in a wheelchair, they wouldn't need, all they would have to do is come up the machine and put their cup under the machine and they would have ice.
The same type of comments may have been coming out of Washington as well, because TouchFree dispensers are fully approved by the National Sanitation Foundation and fully compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Still more reasons why it's worth paying a little bit more for a new TouchFree dispenser that's only available from Scotsman.
I don't care how much this costs, I want one in the lab.
It's worth paying a little bit more, but it's not necessary. There's no price premium for the TouchFree dispensing feature, which is perhaps the most innovative feature of all. It's just another example of Scotsman's leadership throughout the healthcare and food service industries and throughout the world. It's a position we've attained for a number of reasons. Because of our extensive product line, Scotsman can handle every aspect of ice making within your facility. Because of our extensive service and support network. Because of Scotsman's reliability and unexcelled warranty. And because Scotsman has always anticipated the needs of the industry. We saw the need for soft, chewable ice nuggets, and they've since proved extremely versatile.
Little squares last a lot longer. And the crushed ice, because they can't put a big ice cube in their mouth, and a lot of times we have them where their NPO means no water, no drinking water, but we can put a little crushed ice in their mouth.
On the floor where I work, this kind of ice would be wonderful, because we have a lot of patients who are NPO. They cannot take anything by mouth, and the only thing they can have is ice chips. And our machine puts out large ice cubes, and I know a lot of patients on our floor would love little ice chips like this.
This ice machine is great for the laboratory in that we have to keep specimens cold from the floor down in transportation. And the ice is small enough to where it's not huge chunks and the tubes fit in there very nicely in the cups.
We've addressed environmental issues long before the rest of the industry with our use of non-ozone depleting refrigerants. And now we prove our leadership again with Scotsman's TouchFree dispenser series, the first to address both cross-contamination and ADA compliance.
I recommend highly that our hospital buy one of these because it's just great. It's really easy to use for everything we need it for.
Well, if you have the lever, you have a tendency to sometimes push too hard and you put a hole in your styrofoam cup. And this way, I'm not worried about putting a hole in my cup and spilling it on my food.
Well, the fact is you don't have to touch anything. That's the best part. It's sterile.
And you don't necessarily have to have a hand or an arm to make it work because of the sensors.
I think it's probably state of the art with the sensors and being able to dispense it without touching it.
In my mind, you'd have less a reliability problem since there's no moving parts. It's all done by sensors, and there's not a push button, so you know the push button's not going to wear out because there's just not one there. Yeah, I think Scotsman, they're looking at it, they seem like they know what the needs are, and at the same time, they're meeting that need with this machine.
Scotsman's TouchFree series. Convenient, ADA compliant, cross-contamination resistant, NSF approved, and a value that the competition will never touch either.